All right, so if we're all ready, let's get started. Um, does anybody want to give us a recap of last week or earlier this week? Last session. Let's go with that.
Last session. Yeah.
Well, we went to a bar. We made a deal with a cult. Chris got high. Um, Mike, connected with the spirits of the way and the yes, and got zonked out of his skull while he weirded out a small robot child.
It's like real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys agreed to do a job for the Cult of the Seekers. Job is to spring someone for them from a 51st Legion prison that is built into an asteroid in the asteroid belt of the Rin system.
Yep.
What's that?
Former Guild of Engineer Scientists off the base.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
So we never told the Ashen Knives that we're not completing any sort of delivery, or did we just sort of skip out on them, right? The
No,
people who
No. We didn't have any sort of contract with them. Basically, we gave them what's his butt, and that was pretty much it. And then they'd be like, "We'd be in touch if we have another job for you."
Yeah, that was a clean break there.
And then with Alice, we never.
Yeah, Alice was the Conclave 01 representative, and you
Yeah.
never ended up getting back in touch with her. So last time, before we called it quits for the night, we did our engagement roll, and based on that, you guys end up in a risky situation. And our method was deception, the detail being you guys got a 51st Legion ship transponder. And that is how you're starting off the job. Where you go from there is up to you. Remember to use flashbacks to incorporate stuff that you would have taken care of in planning, even if it's sort of the very specific sort of thing. You can always those hyper specific ideas. You can do them. They just cost you more stress than something very obvious would. And remember your mechanics for getting yourself extra dice on tests, because there's consequences to screwing up. And if you're all ready, we'll jump in. So you're making your approach to the location, which is known as Patrol Station 1338, to find your target, Giles Mortimer, a former Guild of Engineers technician, Urbot specialist, who the Cult of the Seekers want extracted. As you approach, you are pinged by the controls at the outpost, and they contact you by the radio, and they say, unidentified craft, your transponder signal is clear, but there is a mismatch in our records between your hull class and the transponder. Please state your business here.
So what was our plan? The plan was to deliver for a prisoner exchange or something like that. What were we doing? Refresh my memory.
Yeah, that was what
I
we were
believe
talking
that's
about.
what you-
Is to try to convince them that we were here for a prisoner transfer. And I was hoping that our refined gentleman would help us in this task.
What was the outpost name again?
It was 1338.
Patrol system or patrol outpost.
Yep. Patrol
1338.
Yep.
Patrol Station 1338. This is a prisoner exchange. The reading from our transponder does not match our hull configuration because we have recently undergone some attacks by bandits and we've had to make impromptu repairs. That might be the addressing situation here.
Understood. Please proceed to docking caller 01, sending you the guide path. And so they send you the data you need to make a smooth dock with the station.
Okay.
So I assume you proceed in, you dock, and on the other side of the umbilical, they will be waiting for you. So what do you guys do?
So, can I take a flashback to get 51st Legion uniforms
You absolutely
and
can.
badges?
Actually, this might be better for
Somebody else.
Tyrion to do because he had banked an
acquire
acquire assets
asset.
downtime
Yeah,
action.
which I
You
which I have
could,
yet to
Mike,
check
you could
off.
do this, but it would cost you 1 cred in addition to whatever the acquire assets will end up costing you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And this is an obvious preparatory thing. So this flashback costs you 0 stress.
Excellent. So, flashing back to a moment when I go to some of my contacts who are in like a police position, just be like, "Hey, down low, I'm gonna need some of this. You won't get in trouble for this. We just need this for a job. It's not gonna impact you in any way, and I'm gonna check off that acquire asset."
Okay. So the way acquire assets works is you roll a number of dice equal to your crew rating, which currently is 1. So you'll roll 1 die unless you want to push or somebody wants to assist. And then what the results of that roll will tell us is how much it's going to cost you to get it. Because you're tier 1 and the 51st Legion is rated as tier 3. They're not, untouchable, but they're a serious organization. So there is going to be some difficulty getting this. Basically, we make the roll, and that tells us what quality that you can get. And then you can change that by spending extra cred.
And then how does an assist work?
So an assist works by you spend 1 stress, expose yourself to whatever consequences there might be from a bad roll, which in this case there's not really going to be any stress or any consequences. And then you give 1 extra die to the person who's making the test.
I'm
You
good
just
to
tell
do
us
that, just because I wiped my stress last
Okay.
thing.
So
Much
then you would
appreciated.
just tell us how you're assisting.
Would there be a way to like prompt them or like nudge them along using the way? Like, would there be a way to like it doesn't seem like that. It seems more like
Well, how
Basically,
would you
Jedi
use the
mind
way
trick.
to do it? Yeah, so you
That's what I was
wanna like calm them down so that they don't feel suspicious or afraid or something.
or convince them that it's a good idea,
Okay.
or like be like we're friendly, or we need this for a good reason and it is justified.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that's how you're assisting. So Liam, you'll take 1 extra die on this, so you'll have 2. If you want to push yourself, that's another way to get an extra die, and you could also use a gambit. You guys only currently have 1 gambit, but you
Does
can
that
use your
replenish?
gambit. Huh?
If I push myself, that gives me 1 additional stress, right?
2.
2. I am going to hold off because I still have 3, and I want some wiggle room for this mission.
Sure.
Do you remember how many stress I took off last time? It was 3, right?
I don't recall.
I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it was 3.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you overindulged.
That was
And-
No, that was Mike that overindulged.
But I do remember Chris taking off some stress.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes,
he
he-
did not overindulge.
So I'm not gonna do anything fancy. I'm just gonna take the 2d6.
Okay. Roll it up.
First one's 3.
Okay.
Second one's a 5.
Okay. So what that means is the default of the thing you acquire is at the same tier level as you. So to get it to tier 3, you're going to need to end up spending 2 cred to make that happen.
How much cred do I have?
I believe
Oh, we all
you have
had 2.
Yeah.
Money's tight at the beginning of one of these.
Remind me of the deal we struck with Miss Layla. It was 4 cred total, or was it 4 cred each for the crew?
So 4 cred total, but that's in addition to what the job is going to pay, which will be 8.
I'll front one in the agreement that it gets paid off on the back end.
And maybe you guys want to up front have some way of handling like in mission expenses. Like Liam will get 2 cred to replace those before any gets paid out to anybody, something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what I was just trying to like negotiate too. But I don't mind fronting it as long as it gets paid out on the back end or paid back.
All right.
Okay, so you drop 1 cred and I drop 1 cred. Okay, so erasing that one off. So our unis are now tier 3.
Yep. So these
yeah.
come across as standard issue Legion uniforms. You can specify any details you want about them, like what rank you want to be. You want one too, Chris? Okay. Yeah, so this gets you enough for the entire crew.
I thought we were gonna get binders for Matt's character, and that will be the prisoner exchange. I'm joking, but
Okay, so you've got your uniforms, and I assume you just walk in there like you own the place? Or...
So, who is the prisoner? Or
So
are we? Are we
Giles, what's his name?
I know, but like, are we there bringing, like you said, bringing a prisoner, and then taking one away, or are we just there to pick one up and transfer?
I don't have a prisoner.
I mean, they know who I am.
Basically, we're just here to pick them up and transfer them. Does Tyrion know of any other like prisons nearby?
I don't think that's like common knowledge. There are certain famous prisons like the Supermax prison that I can't remember the name of that's in the setting, but like any station police precinct, any major 51st Legion warship, it's going to have some number of prisoners, but maybe not specific ones that you know of, unless you want to name drop some. Like, is this something you wanted to know in advance for your cover story?
Just in case they're like, where are you taking them? Like,
Someplace, don't worry about it. But we could also list the name from the place where we got the uniforms to begin with. From that 51st Legion outpost, from, you know what I mean, like wherever they were stationed.
Mm-hmm.
all right, I think I have a pretty good idea what I want to say to the people.
Okay.
And I would like my uniform to be, relatively high ranking, like officer, but not like, oh, fucking brigadier general coming in here.
Okay.
Just be like,
So like a lieutenant or a captain or something?
yeah.
Junior officer? Okay. Let's say you're a lieutenant then. Or you choose. Lieutenant or captain?
No, I'll
What do
go
you pin
captain.
yourself? Okay.
Ensign.
All right. And
And
the
then
other
get
guys,
them-
you're all enlisted pukes?
Fleet Admiral.
I
gonna let
I'd
him do
like to
that?
have a I'd like to have at least one better bar in the mix.
Okay. So who's going to be the other officer?
The lieutenant fly? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that's
Matt?
Yeah, I don't trust a drug addict with the hardware.
Doesn't matter to me. Either you or me, Mike. I'm good either way.
For it.
Hmm?
Go for it.
All right.
Okay. And, doctors in military are generally commissioned officers.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your setup. You're all wearing your gray and black 51st Legion uniforms with the built-in armor plates on the chest and the helmets that feature this black opaque slab that goes up above the crown of the head in the sort of the well-known style of the Legion. This is something common to all hegemony.
I am imagining
Gear.
a goth corpus.
Kinda? Not wrong. Not entirely wrong there. And
Yeah, I have a quick question as well too. On the equipment that I'm bringing with me, I have recognizable medic garb. Would that go on would that be part of the uniform or?
you could incorporate it in a way. I assume you did whatever research in advance to let's say this isn't this could just be a part of the acquire assets role to make your uniform show that you're a doctor.
Well, my recognizable medic garb, it's a common red medic outfit bearing the official white medic seal of the hegemony, recognizable from a distance.
So you could wear that instead of a 51st Legion uniform if you wanted to. Or you could just have your 51st Legion show that you are a doctor.
What do we think is better?
Yeah,
Probably the 51st Legion.
Yeah, 51st Legion and have the Rod of Asclepius on a collar.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. So the door in the umbilical opens, and you walk into a gunmetal steel antechamber. You look around, and the place doesn't look like it's in great repair. There's a few wall panels that are off. There's some corrosion and damage. You get the feeling that this patrol station might have been neglected for a bit. Greeting you on the other side are 3 Legion soldiers, 2 carrying blaster rifles, and a third with a data pad in hand. He notices the insignia on your uniform, and he snaps to attention and salutes. And
I return the salute.
very good.
With your left hand.
And then he says, "Sir, welcome to Patrol Outpost 1338. What's the nature of your visit here today?"
Simple prisoner transfer. We're here to pick up your prisoner and deliver him to another outpost for interrogation and reincarceration.
Of course, sir. You have his transfer paperwork?
Now, look over and say, Lieutenant Pierce, do you have the paperwork with you?
I think now would be a good time to do a flashback, maybe.
You can do that, yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Let's do a flashback and acquire the paperwork needed for such prisoner transfer.
Okay.
So that is a.
So how would you go about getting the paperwork?
I will also assist here and use any sort of connections that I have, and I'll drop another stress on this.
That would help.
So let's first figure out how you're going about it. Do you want to do this where you would just want to try and buy a forgery? Do you want to try and make something yourself? Get somebody to do something for you? There's lots of...
I mean, money's tight. I would probably try and see if one of our connections between the 4 of us had any pull somewhere to maybe get us a copy or, something that would, be relevant enough to pass us through. that would be my first instinct. Where money is tight, so I don't think we want to necessarily buy anything. The doc isn't really all too much about stealing, so he wouldn't necessarily want to steal something. But if he could, maybe call in a favor, or offer his services in exchange for, free medical service or whatever. If someone's in trouble and needs to get, fixed up or something like that, then, he would, barter his services for, a copy.
All right.
Question for the GM.
Sure.
In my items that don't count against my load, it says luxury item.
Mhm.
Would I also be able to offer that as like trade in this flashback?
Katie.
Maybe if it gave you some sort of leverage in the nature of the negotiation, perhaps. It's not something like you can spend in the place of cred, but if there's a narrative way that you can use it, then absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pax has spent some time with, or in the custody of the 51st Legion, so he can offer his services as far as like forging, like
Okay.
as far as like what a prison transfer would look like, but he can't really make one.
Remember, also, you have 5 contacts from your ship as well.
Those were in the spreadsheet, right?
Yep.
Where are those contacts?
Uh,
We just have licks, right?
no. So Lix is a very close contact, but all 5 of those contacts, you guys have them.
Oh, no shit.
Lix
I
is
didn't-
just your closest contact,
Oh, we
who's
just
really
did.
going to come through for you.
I think
Who's
maybe.
Jexel?
Yeah, I was thinking Jexel, or maybe Stacy, the Ace Reporter, has ways of getting things.
So which one do you want to do?
What is the fixer? What does that entail?
A fixer is a person who helps marry up clients with ne'er-do-wells who are
Jobs.
going to get them what they want, can help with prep work and stuff.
Yeah, Jex roll sounds really nice for this.
Yeah, I think that's the right one to go with.
So you go to see Jexril for this?
Yeah.
So do you actually call her? Do you want to call her up? Do you want to go visit her in person, assuming she's on Rin?
I think for
We
something
haven't
like that,
established that.
I think for something like this, I would say visit in person.
Okay. Is she on Warren, or is she on some other location in the Rin system? Or do you guys have to make a jump to go see her?
I would say we probably tracked her down on Warren,
Okay.
Yeah.
just to make it easier.
Yeah. So you drop in on Jexel a little bit unexpectedly. You arrange to meet her. And she's like, "Oh, my beautiful boys, how are you? What can I help you with today?"
Well, we are looking for a bit of help. We doing a prisoner exchange, and we lack the proper papers that we need for said prisoner.
Yes,
You
that is
being-
generally a sticking point.
Yes, you being as amazing as you are at what you do, we figured we would come visit and see what we could arrange.
Oh dear, flattery will get you everywhere. I might need some convincing to see what I can do here. So this is where you'd go ahead and make a roll depending on how which skill you want to go with. So pick which skill you want to go with here.
Sure, she reminds me of the super suit maker from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Edna.
Yeah,
Edna Mole.
There are shades of that, but don't imagine a deformed midget like Edna.
No hips.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably say Sway.
Sway? Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably
Um,
say Sway.
And this is where my assist would be coming in.
Sure. So you're gonna butter her up to get her to help you out with this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just
this is, I guess, for Doc's spot where he would offer, maybe a free medical,
Okay.
a free assist on the medical side if she's ever in trouble or needs, I don't have them on me at this time, but I do have a stash of illicit drugs that I do have. So if she ever needs something like that, then
Had.
I'll make sure she had. I know, she's a pilot.
You could probably get more.
Um,
And Liam, you're helping by
oh, she really seems fond of the flatters, so I'll butter her up in that sense. Oh, Jexrel, you are so fashionable.
All right, so before we make the roll, you're going to roll your sway +1 for the assist from Liam. Each of you take 1 stress, 1 for the flashback, Matt, and 1 for the assist, Liam.
Already marked.
Can everyone assist?
You
just
can only
one?
do 1 assist.
Okay.
all right, so that's 2d6 because I have 1 in sway and then 1 bonus dice from Liam. 3 and 2.
Okay.
And that's including the 1 extra die.
Yep, I get a 3 on the first, 2 on the second.
Let's see.
Oh, damn it.
I smell some heat coming our way.
So give me a minute to take a good think out of this one. So we're doing sway. This is controlled. So I'm going to say, let's see. Well, dear, there are limited ways to achieve what you are after, and I don't know how happy you would be about my 1 lead for you, but there is a retired Legion non-com that I know of who keeps a number of souvenirs of his time in the Legion, who lives not too far from here. Perhaps you could, I don't know, shake him down, convince him to sell it to you. I don't know. It's up to you how you choose to do it, but he would be your way in for this.
And you'd be willing to part with his location?
Yeah, so she gives him gives you guys the location. So mechanically, this was a controlled situation that, following up on this lead rather than allowing it to slip away, means what you're going to be doing from here on out is going to be risky.
Okay. I don't think we have much of a choice, do we?
Not really.
Is that,
I just
is that
need
riskier than just blasting our way through? Yeah, I mean, like,
I just need something in my hand to hand to these people to
Yeah.
make things a little easier.
Okay. So if that's the case, then you get the location from I've forgotten her name already. God damn it.
Madam Lie.
Jexrel. She gives you the location. How do you want to go about getting this?
I have a fun idea. I don't know if it's going to work too well. Shock and
boy.
awe. Kind of a funny shock and awe. The doctor rolls up, knocks on the door, and guy opens it. I'm a doctor. I'm here to fix you. Well, there's nothing wrong with me. And then Liam comes in and punches him to the ground. And yes,
Yeah.
I'm here to fix you.
I
And
have nothing in scrap.
So like an extortion shakedown?
Yeah, he's got anything in scrap. So
Does
I
that?
can
So
do I have
does it? Would it have to be Matt or Liam because he took the assist, or could other people get involved?
Any of you could get involved. This is
Yeah, why not?
like
Why not all of us
Matt's,
visit
Matt's
him?
doing this flashback, but like if you guys, I assume the way this is played out, like you're gonna call for help on this because this is a job you guys
Yeah,
are
of course.
preparing for.
Yeah, especially since the first one didn't really go as well as we'd hoped.
Yeah.
So we could do an extort. Is anyone super high in sway?
I've got 2 in sway.
Not sway. I'm sorry. Scrap.
1 in scrap.
I have 0 in scrap. All my shit is in command, consort, and sway.
And I have 1 in scrap too.
All right. So the highest we have is 1. So extortion probably wouldn't work.
Beat the shit out of him. Let's get our shit and go.
We can beat the shit out of him. It's 4-on-1.
Okay.
I could do a command roll and basically threaten him with the 4 of us on him. Just be like, we will beat the shit out of you if you don't give us this.
He's also former 51st Legion. He probably,
There's also another route that we could take, sway and narratively, just be like, hey, you're a former soldier, so you'll probably appreciate this, and spend that luxury item. It's like, this is an antique firearm or something like that.
So you're gonna try and trade it with him. And which action are you using here? Sway?
I believe that would be the appropriate one. I lost the sheet where it says the different actions. Let's see.
Sway.
Yes, sway seems like it would be consort or sway.
Okay.
Isn't consort more like friendly, like elbow rubbing and hobnobbing?
Yeah, so I think sway would be the one.
Okay, so you're gonna try and trade him a luxury item for this for some authentic paperwork, which isn't really paper. It's, I'm sure, like
it's like a
data keys or something. Yeah, data keys. We'll say data keys. That's vague enough that it works.
Doc is also going to bring some illicit drugs with him of the knocking out type. So if things go bad, he'll just be able to, syringe him in the neck and knock him out if need be.
Okay, so who's making the roll here?
That would be would that be an assist.
I thought
if it doesn't
Liam.
go well? Like, how would that
like
work?
we're already in the flashback, and I've already acquired the 1 stress. So does it matter who makes the roll at this point? Okay.
It matters in terms of whose skill we're using.
Okay, then I'll use the sway roll. Oh dear Lord Jesus, help me. D6. Oh, that's the first one. That's 1. Double 1s.
Well, there's no critical fails in this, so this is just a regular fail. Let's say
still kind of hurts.
Let's say you're making this pitch to him. It's all smarm and style, and he's just sort of standing there, immobile, impassive through the whole thing. And about halfway through your pitch, he just goes, "Hold on just a second here. What are you planning on doing with this? With these data keys? Are you going to use it to spring some prisoners? No. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly. You wait right here." And he goes back into his apartment, and you hear him pulling out his communicator to call somebody. What do you do?
Guys,
I'm gonna
help!
open up the Doc's backpack, reach in and grab a syringe of his shit, go into his apartment and stab him in the neck.
Okay. So this is a scrap, I
Yep.
believe.
Scrap.
I can.
Or
Can
actually,
you assist
let me
on that?
ask: are you doing this like fast and direct, so that would really be more of a scrap, or are you like trying to sneak up on him, which would be more of a skulk?
I think Pax is he's not the skulky sort of person, so it'll be a scrap.
And would I be able to assist in a flashback, or like I'll jump on him and hold him down, and he can jab him in the neck or something?
Yeah, sure. You can give him an extra die by assisting. You just take a stress for it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Oh god,
Finally
we're
using
spending
drugs for good.
we're spending all this stress.
I
on
told
this
you,
one flashback.
Well,
I have
hopefully,
6 already, so
Well, to be fair, this is an important part of accomplishing your mission here.
This is
Yeah.
fair.
So that's 1 on the assist, and then 1 for the scrap, and so I just
Yeah.
get 2.
2d6.
unless you want to push yourself, I assume you could do more, right?
Big
Yeah.
money, no whammies.
Stress to push myself, right?
2 stress to push yourself, or you can spend the crew's 1 gambit so far.
No, I'll push myself,
Actually, oh shoot, what was?
right?
Actually, you guys have 2 gambits now because you made a risky. The last one was a risky roll, so you have 2 gambits.
Nice. I'll just
I wouldn't be
I'll push
opposed.
myself for 2 stress.
So
Yep.
just to be clear, like this is great effect. You're gonna get him if this works, but the position is desperate. So if it doesn't work, things are gonna get ugly.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. All right, so 3 dice.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when I reached into his backpack, I palmed some more of that shit.
one for you, one for me.
God damn it, man.
A 6, a 2, and a 2.
Ooh, thank God we had. Well, 6 was the first
Yeah.
one, but
So he gets the communicator out and he's scrolling through his contacts list, and you hit him right in the back of the neck with this as he's in the middle of it, and he goes down like a second after the shock of being stabbed with a needle registers, and after some rummaging around in his apartment, you find the data keys that you could use to create a prison transfer document forgery. And then
Is there anything else in here I can grab?
you're going to turn the place over?
Fuck yeah.
would we want to take his communicator maybe, so we have maybe a list of contacts that we can use as a reference?
That sounds nice.
Okay. So are you actually like, are you looking for something specific in ransacking his apartment, or just...
Things of value
Okay.
that I could use to trade for certain illicit things.
Drugs.
All right, let's say you find 1 cred worth of valuables that you can easily fence.
Ever the junkie.
And Doc walks right over and takes it out of his hands. Thank you.
No. Thank you.
How are you handling the unconscious retiree on the floor?
Yeah, that was my next question. Because when
That's
he
why I
wakes
think-
up, he's
that's
going
why
to
I
be
think we
pissed.
that's why I think we take the communicator too. That way he doesn't have at least a quick way of communicating. That maybe tie him up.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the injection have to be strictly in the back of the neck?
No. Well, unless Chris is going to tell me that Pax did that somewhere other than the neck.
No, in the neck. I just did because vessels there.
Doesn't mean we can't go do a second injection.
Yeah, is there-
my suggestion was that if it was in a different body part, we could use the same injection site to make it look like an OD.
Aw.
That's really fucked up, but
I don't know if Doc wouldn't go for that.
And then what about?
Well, also remember that you guys just turned his apartment over.
Yeah. So back to that cred that the doctor said, "Oh no, you can't have that." So am I keeping that or not keeping that? Like, what's
Well,
going
I
on?
assume you were talking about the drugs, right, Matt?
No, I was going to take the credit for stealing all my drugs.
Oh, this is to replace the drugs.
Yes. So you found
Yeah,
the
but
credit, but I'm going to take it.
No. So okay. We're walking through the door.
Yes.
Tyrion's thing didn't work out, right? So I just open your backpack and I grab some shit and I storm in and stab him in the neck, right?
Yeah.
When I grab into your backpack or whatever and grab the drugs, I
Yeah.
palm some for myself.
Yes.
So you noticed that I did that?
No, I did not. But from all the drugs you've taken out of the ship so far,
You remember he did know that you
Yeah.
raided his drug supply with your.
So you're taking the valuables I found for yourself then.
yes, as payment for said illicit drugs.
Understood. Well, I still have more.
I just happened to get these other ones.
Even when I lose, I win.
Okay. So then, so what are you doing with the retiree?
I think
What-
we tie him up and take the communicator.
Is there anything else? Is there any other like medication that you can give him to make him like out of it for a few days, like while we
He would have something. I mean, I guess it depends. If we wanna
like a
go-
sedative or something like that would make him like
The
pass out?
doctor- Over the years, the doctor has performed some stuff that's been a bit shady here and there, but he carries mild to heavy, like horse tranquilizer stuff that can make him forget completely what happened. So it depends on how we want to do it. Do we want to make him forget?
Tie him down. All right, tie him down, and so when he wakes up and he struggles and he lifts his head up, he pokes himself with another syringe and just goes out again.
Yeah,
That
until
sounds
someone comes to find him,
extremely elaborate.
That's some
It's
Home
like
Alone style shit.
the Rue Goldberg machine of
Right.
Or we
Rube
just throw
Goldberg,
him on the
whatever.
pouch, put a a couple bottles of whatever his favorite drink was, give him so much drugs that he wakes up and forgets what the hell happened, looks over and sees the bottle and is like, oh, the hell did I do? But again, we ransacked his house. That we couldn't really
Yeah.
do that one.
We could try to get him arrested. We could get him with some like contraband and make
That's a good
a
idea.
phone call while he's out,
That's a good idea.
and
Okay.
then that way he'll be detained for a little while.
Okay. That's what you want to do?
I like that one.
We like fucking up people's lives. This is fun.
Okay.
That's why it's called Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, right.
All right. So is that the plan then?
I think
Mhm.
that's a good plan.
All right. So let's say this flashback's now complete. You've got the data key with a forged prisoner transfer for your target. You're knocking over a retiree in his own home and tossing the place to steal some random crap, as well as some potentially classified items, or sensitive, shall we say, items that he has. That's going to earn you 2 extra heat, so your heat in the Rin system's going up to 5. Hi, Jess.
Yeah. This is
And he is going to report what was actually he's going to report what you guys tried to get off of him, which you told him you were trying to get the data keys. So there's going to be a report flagged in 51st Legion system saying that there was an attempted theft of transfer data keys. So I'm starting a 6 clock for 51st Legion suspicion.
What's the
And
prisoner's name again?
Giles.
Giles Mortimer.
Mortimer.
And I'm marking 1 tick on that clock.
And that's an 8 count.
6.
Okay.
What was the retiree's name?
He didn't come up with one, did you?
Jeff.
No.
Jeff.
Good.
Fantasy. Some call me Tim.
Joe Snuffy was his name.
Snuffy. Yeah.
No,
If he was Joe Snuffy, we'd have to off him. So
Well, that's why he's got all these example pieces of paperwork filled out for him.
So, Nate, I have a question. Where the retiree reported us, did he get in trouble because of the illicit drugs at all? Because the police came to say that, and he has illicit drugs in him. Would they believe anything he said?
He also said he was attacked and robbed, and his apartment looked turned over. So there's some credence there. And
damn it,
whether or
Mags.
not the cops believed it, that they're still putting in reports, which can contribute to your overall heat.
Okay.
Bags is gonna get such a tongue lashing when this mission is finished. If
So
he's lucid enough.
they might have let him dry out in lockup for a little bit after coming down from all those drugs, but they didn't end up pressing any charges.
Okay.
Is his little epilogue there. Joe Snuffy, who I hope we never see again. And he hopes to never see you again.
Smart guy.
So you have your data key in hand, and
And is the guy in front of me officer or non-commissioned?
non-commissioned.
Okay. So, Lieutenant Pierce, do you have the transport orders?
Of course I do. Here they are, right here, sir.
Thank you very much. It should be all quite in order. If you could please direct us to the prisoner in question, and we will be strictly on our way.
So are you going to try and expedite the process, or are you going to let him run and check everything?
I think we expedite it.
What? So it's so is this the desperate mission, or are we beyond? That was only desperate.
So we
for
are
the-
back to this scene, which was risky.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and get him to expedite it by saying, speed up the process, soldier.
So-
Major Burn. I'm just pulling names from MASH at this point.
Go for it.
Major Burns is wanting to have this prisoner brought to the outpost as soon as possible. He has some serious questions for him.
Are you? So this sounds like a command. Are you going to roll command for this?
I will roll command for this.
Alright.
I hope that RNGesus blesses me with all
Are
high
you
rolls.
pushing gambits
Do
assists?
we want to spend a gambit here for another die? We picked up a second one. This may be a good one to not fail on.
I would like to spend a gambit here.
Good call.
Yeah.
So is that
Another one on my... Or no?
Say what?
Do we pick up another one on my roll?
No, that was desperate. Actually, that does remind me. Mark 1 experience in prowess because you made a desperate roll using one of the prowess skills.
Nice.
good job, Chris? Okay, so I'll be spending a gambit for 3d6.
Yep.
That's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 1. So highest roll was a 4.
One moment.
Oh dear.
Partial success. It's fine.
Yeah, no, this is a partial success. You make progress on your goal. There's just consequences and costs. So I want to just check one thing real quick. Okay. So the clerk, he slots in the key card a while and is nodding along to what you're saying while he's also like glancing back down at his tablet over repeatedly checking the paperwork against what you said and their current records, and he's rushing along. And he says, yes, sir, of course, right away. Follow me. And he gestures for you to follow along with the two guards. He's like, the prisoner is just down this way. I've contacted Lieutenant...
Dan?
Lieutenant Dan!
That's why I write these things down, because I never remember in the moment.
Do you actually have? Oh, you. I was
Okay.
like, you actually generated names for these guys.
Yeah. Well, some of them. He says, I've contacted Lieutenant Albin. He will want to meet us there to review the paperwork. But we'll get this moving as soon as we can for you, sir. And the lieutenant will be able to help out with that.
Very good,
And-
soldier. Lead the way.
All right, so I'm creating another 6 clock here called Prisoner Extraction. And I am marking 3 spots on it because that was a success. You have an excellent piece of the puzzle here that you have to really work for. I did not expect you to have to work that hard for it.
What was the other 6 clock? If this one was for
This is prisoner extraction. When it's complete, you have the prisoner in hand.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
prisoner
okay.
extraction and Legion
51st
suspicion.
Yeah.
oh,
When Legion suspicion fills, the alarm will sound.
gotcha.
How many are on the Legion suspicion right now? 1.
1 out of 6. All right. So he has you follow through a few twists and turns. You see little snatches of the station, but mostly it's corridors. It's not very big. There's just a minor barracks. There's some hangars that you guys passed that have some small craft docked inside of them, as opposed to docked externally like yours is. And they lead you along, and you arrive at the brig, which has enough spots for a number of prisoners, and you see a few behind bars there. Nobody you recognize, except for your target, who you had a photo of. Giles Mortimer is in his own cell, and when you first get a look at him, he is not looking good. He has been beat to hell. And there's a Legion officer standing outside the cell, and as you approach, he turns to face you, and his eyebrows raise in surprise as he recognizes Emmett. And Emmett, you recognize him as your rival on your character sheet there.
Oh God.
So
That's good.
this is a great time for you to tell us how Albin, your former patient, ended up on your bad side, or you ended up on his, or both. Tell us about Albin.
Well, he had a medical procedure that wasn't necessarily one of those ones you go to the doctor for. He had some issues with some drugs in the past. Me having illicit drugs and knowing how to handle a lot of that stuff. I actually tried to help him. He almost OD'd, so I tried to help him get back, and I gave him some medication to help. Unfortunately, the medication caused a pretty severe side effect internally, and he ended up on like probably 5 or 6 different pills for a good 2-3 years, just to overcome the internal damage that went through his organs. So basically I tried to help him, ended up screwing up his insides, and he was in agonizing pain for a couple of years while they were trying to fix it. And he's quite never really forgotten that.
Okay, so sort of a medical malpractice thing.
Yes.
Do you ever try to contact you at any point after that?
He hasn't, but I've tried to contact him. Because obviously, Emmett's not really a super shady type. Like, he tries his best, and he tries to do things the best he can, so he felt really bad about the whole thing. So he has tried to reach out to him, but Albin's never picked up.
Okay. But you think he's received the messages, though?
Yeah, I definitely think he's received.
All right, so his eyes go kind of wide on seeing you, and then he takes a moment to look around before noticing Tyrion and snapping a salute and saying, "Sir, welcome to 1338. We have your prisoner right here. The corporal assures me that your paperwork is in order.
Is there a problem, soldier?
Well, sir, there's the small matter of this gentleman right here," pointing at, what'd you call him, Lieutenant Price?
Pierce.
Pierce. What is this man doing in a Legion uniform?
He was recently conscripted into the 51st Legion to ensure better medical practice, and I figured that it would be a prudent matter to bring him along, considering the state of the convict in question. He is simply here to keep him alive on the journey and for the interrogation. Is
So-
there an issue, Lieutenant?
Just that this man is not capable of providing good medical care. He is a quack, and I have suffered under his care.
That is one particular case, Alvin. I've tried to call you and apologize
Lieutenant,
many
please.
times, but you won't take my call.
Be that as it may, we are not here to ensure his comfort. We are here to ensure his survival. I do not particularly care if the convict suffers, just so that he stays alive, so that Major Burns might ask him some rather prudent questions.
Major Burns. Interesting.
Shit,
I
he's seen
understand.
MASH, guys.
What's that?
I said, shit, he's seen MASH.
Yeah, that's it. My understanding was that this prisoner was not to be kept in Legion custody, that he was to be turned over to a specific third party. Now,
Did
Who
we
else
have
is
that on the
around
paperwork?
now?
Hmm?
Yeah, who else is around now? Like, are there
the
a
clerk
kind
and
of?
the 2 guards are still there.
And then I'll take a quick glance around to see if there are cameras and things like that. Or,
Yeah,
like,
so
surveillance.
this isn't a huge brig. It's a single long corridor with another number of cells coming off of either side of it, running perpendicular to it. And there are cameras at either end of this long hallway pointed towards the other to basically watch any movement that's going to and from in this in the corridor here.
I think so. I think like the is there like a station or something where those cameras are monitored or something that would file?
You would assume so, but you did not see something like that as you came in.
All right. So are we like in the middle of a corridor or are we at the end?
Yeah, you're about the middle of the corridor. That's where the cell is.
All right. Pax is just going to keep walking, just sort of away from the conversation, see if there's like some sort of like desk where security would be watching the feed or something like that.
There were 2 guards posted outside of the corridor at the entrance to the brig area, but there's no desk in this hall itself. However, nobody goes to stop you as you wander down the hall a little bit. Sort of everybody's eyes are on Emmett and Alden.
Okay.
So
What would be the skill to like intimidate in this? Would that be sway or
that's command. If you're intimidating using rank, power, to get your way, that's
would
command.
we want to try a command on him, like kind of, because you're technically still his superior, Liam.
Yeah. My question was, he brought up the third party. Did we have that listed on the paperwork, or are those like, is this new information to us? Like
That wouldn't be on the paperwork. So that's not like a discrepancy or anything with what you have.
We could just say
Okay.
we were unaware, but we have our orders.
yeah, I think the way I'm gonna go with this is like new information has come up and he needs to be reinterrogated by the major.
All right, so go ahead and roll your command to get him to back down from his questions. If that's, I want to confirm that's what you're after here, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to be like, the major has given us new. The major has given us new orders. He is to be brought back to the outpost, where he is to be interrogated and recarcerated in a high-level security outpost.
Okay, so this would be risky position, and I'm gonna say the effect is limited because Albin's very suspicious. So if you succeed, you will get him to back down a little bit, but he's not giving up the ghost right now. So go ahead and make your roll,
Okay.
or add any extra dice, whatever that you want to do.
2d6 in command. I'm feeling that Orange Jesus has been a little bit more kinder to me. Okay. That's
Okay, 6. Yep.
That's-
Roll the other one.
And that's a 1. So no 2-6, but I got a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, take it.
Oh, my heart is pounding.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mark. Let's see. 2 spots on our prisoner extraction clock. So you're 1 away.
Excellent.
And let's see. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I should be following the mechanics here. So this is going to be 1 mark. So you've got 2 to go. And nothing on the suspicion clock because no complications there. And so he sort of cools off a little bit with his inquiries, and he says, "Well, sir, we've done some extensive interrogations ourselves, and despite the look of the little bastard, he hasn't told us anything.
Soon
And
shall be remedied.
so, interesting thing, you've got that ability player, right? Where you can tell if people are lying to you?
Yes.
He's lying to you about him not talking.
Lieutenant,
So,
I would advise you not to push me. I've come a long way, and Major Burns is not in a particularly good mood. If you are holding back on us, I can assure you there are far less favorable posts that you can be assigned to.
okay. So you're trying to make him spill the beans here, and this sounds like another command. Is that what you're doing?
And would I be able to use the the way to nudge him or force him or coerce him to open up about it?
Yeah, like you can't full on Jedi mind trick the guy, but you can sort of poke at his emotions to get him to relax or trust him or whichever approach you want to do.
I think make him be afraid of consequences, just
Okay. So poke at the fear center of his brain. Yeah. So mark 1 stress to assist, and Liam take an additional die.
Okay. 3d6.
so much stress.
Okay, first one's 3.
Mhm.
Got a 6
Okay.
and a 4.
All right. So that's a straight success. He sort of looks at his boots for a minute and says, "Sir, I was under instructions not to relay anything I learned except to my commander. But if you're transferring him, fine." He gave us a number of potential or artifact site locations, and he gives you a little data stick with the information on it.
Okay, I pass it off to Lieutenant. I just say, store that.
So
Sir?
so you're aware he still has this information. Like this was a
Oh, I was
copy
gonna
of it.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask. Is that
He's
the
not,
only?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just because
Oh,
he
he's-
would have filed that away.
Yeah, of course. We're not asking for like all the relevant data to be expunged and handed to us. Basically, just this was kind of to instill that he is talking to a superior officer and that he needs to listen.
Stand at attention.
All right. He says, "Well, sir, if you would like to have your doctor inspect the prisoner. He will likely need a little bit of care before we can move him. We've been vigorous in our interrogation, as you can see.
Very well, Lieutenant. Lieutenant, tell me, is the prisoner able to survive transport?
Based on the looks of him from here, it seems as well as he could be. If I could just have a quick look, just to make sure, then we should be good to go. But from here, it looks good. But I would like to take one last quick peek, just to see if he's able.
All right. So do you want to make a doctoring roll?
Yep.
All
right. Please.
We don't need him to be comfortable.
Freaking roll. Jesus Christ! Fucking 3 and a 2 again. This thing is rigged.
Oof.
Yep, he looks good.
I'll start freaking using my own dice. Jesus Christ.
So let's.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what that means.
Okay.
So
Starts throwing up blood.
yeah,
Let me see your arm. Ah, fuck. Well, he's fine.
you go to check on him, and like he's pretty dazed. Like he's conscious, but he's like fading in and out. You give him a quick look over, and the lighting's pretty poor in there. This is a very dystopian looking space prison right here.
Yeah.
And as you're giving him the look over, you fail to notice the odd angle that one of his ankles is at. It's pretty subtle, and the lighting in here is not good. But you decide that despite his injuries, he's good to move, so you go to sort of hoist him up. And in his dazed state, he ends up putting his weight on that ankle. And
Ouch.
there is a very uncomfortable sound, and he collapses to the ground screaming.
Broken ankle.
Yeah, broken ankle. And so Lieutenant Arlen sort of throws his hands up in the air. It's like, what can you expect from this man? This fucking disgrace to the uniform. Sir, this man is not fit to be an officer in our legion.
Pax walks in and says, "Oh, I see our lieutenant's hard at work."
He sort of ignores you and turns back to Liam. And I'm marking 3 in Legion suspicion here.
3 more or up to 3?
3 more.
Holy shit! What are we up to? 4?
4.
And then how close are we to springing the?
2 more. So you're neck and neck here. Basically, Arlen goes on a rant about how unfit Emmett is to wear the uniform, and he can't believe that this is proper, that, he's in here at all.
What kind of military structure is this? Is this like what is this comparable to? Are these like peacekeepers? Like, or is this like Marines? Like, what's going on? Like, can Tyrion beat the shit out of this guy for his disrespect in his selection of an officer? Like,
Oh, please tell me this is like a Klingon ship where I can just beat the fuck out of him.
challenge him to
Combat?
No, so, like, the Legion structure is... The Legions are... They wear a lot of hats depending on where they're stationed and what their mission is. Because they're anything from planet-destroying shock troops, if the hegemon wants to bring somebody into the fold or remind him that he's in charge. And but a lot of times when they're out in remote areas like this, they're basically paramilitary police. Or they're sort of that level. They're focused on law enforcement, anti-terrorism, and trying to watch for dissident factions. They handle... Basically, they're sort of like the FBI for the Procyon sector. They're that... Say again?
Subordination. It's like on the spectrum of insubordination, it's I'm gonna write you up and kill you. There's somewhere towards the I'm gonna write you up.
It's somewhere. I'm going to write you up. There's that. They've got that layer of nobility and the right families and breeding play a lot of importance in the structure of hegemony society, and the Legion does as well. So there are a lot of people who are who have family connections. So you can't just execute somebody for insubordination. It's not done, and
Or
it's
shit.
unwise. Yeah.
We can try it.
No, you can try it.
but Before we do that, I'm tempted to roll one more. I haven't used any of my abilities yet. I'm tempted to use my starting ability. I'm a doctor, not a ...
Mhm.
To push myself to roll doctor rating while performing a different action. And I was thinking about using commands to basically... Do I outrank him?
No, it's one of those things where, like, you would have to pull out your paperwork to see who has date of rank.
All right.
And you're pretty sure that if you're newly conscripted into service and he's been around in the service since the last time you saw him, he's got date of rank on you, so he would outrank you.
Yeah,
But it's sort of a soft outranking you.
Yeah. All right. Never mind that then.
I'll raise my voice and what was his name? Lieutenant Alden, and say, Lieutenant Alden, control yourself, and then I will direct the yelling over to the fair doctor. Sorry about this. Lieutenant, is he fit for travel?
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to know. We don't need him to walk. Secure the prisoner. We'll drag him if need be.
Okay. Bossy, ballsy. Okay.
Irian is in character.
I'm very method. Yeah, so let's so you want to just drag him out screaming is what you want to do.
Basically, if he's not bleeding out, then the captain sees fit that he'll survive.
Okay. So are you waiting for any response from Alden with this, or are you just ignoring him? How are you proceeding? I'm just because this is going to culminate in an action roll to see if you can finish off this clock and get out of here. And I just want to understand your method.
I'll direct it at Alden just very impatiently. Is there any reason that we need to stay here any longer, or can we take this prisoner to be interrogated?
All right. So if you wanna just cow him into backing down, then we'll do a command and risky. And I'm gonna say standard effect at this point because he realizes he's been acting out a bit.
Okay, so would I know the effect on this clock?
So, basically, if you're making forward progress on a clock, generally, limited effect is 1 tick, standard effect is 2 tick, great effect is 3 ticks, and then criticals would increase the effect.
Can I assist?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go up to Lieutenant Alden's ear and say, "My good man, just so you know, I've made a formal complaint with hegemony, and I am just as suspect in this doctor's abilities as yourself. So, in time."
Okay.
Sympathy angle. Okay. And do we have any objections about spending that last gambit?
Nope. We're kind of like, we're kind of like at the tail end here. We have one left.
We have one
One
left.
left.
No, is that 2 or 1 stress for me?
One for assisting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one to
that'd be
assist.
1 stress per assist.
And,
So 46. That sounds about right. Okay. 4.
Mm-hmm.
5,
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
6,
Oh yeah.
Counting up. Yep.
double sixes.
Double
Nice.
sixes.
That's a critical.
Ooh.
right.
I am not going to have hot hands for the rest of the night. Don't ask me to do anything else.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So with that, Alban backs down. He looks unhappy about it, but he backs down and he orders the 2 guards to assist Lieutenant Pierce with moving the prisoner, and he's taken back to the ship. You all walk briskly as you can while dragging a guy with a badly broken leg, and you board your ship and you depart.
And there is a collective sigh of fucking relief.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that so much. Okay. So do we want to proceed straight to the payoff?
What other? I mean, can anybody think of anything else that we would do? Oh, yeah, I do. I know what we would want to do. So why don't we, as we're like in transit to the payoff, why don't we try to get Doc to patch him up, and then ask him? So we still have Anna, right? Or
Yeah.
we didn't leave Anna.
Yeah.
So isn't that what Giles does? Like, isn't he?
Yes, he is an Urbot specialist.
Yeah. Why don't we talk to him about Anna?
I would like to say, as soon as Tyrion gets up the ship, he's just like, Jesus, man, what did you do? I've not had to work that hard in my entire life. You better be fucking worth it.
All right, so do you want to, Matt, do you want to make a doctor roll to see if you can patch up Giles to the point where he can have a conversation with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna freaking do it on my phone instead because I can't stand that stupid freaking thing.
Yeah.
Also, it fucks you every time.
Nice parser, be not your friend.
3 for the first one, which is not
And
better
a
than the
2
last
for the
time.
second one.
Jesus Christ, 3 and
Oh
2
my
again.
God.
Fuck.
You're the shittiest doctor in the universe.
Apparently.
Yeah. So this is
Hello,
done,
everybody.
like
Hi,
he's in
Dr.
bad
Nick.
shape. He's in bad shape here. But this is a controlled position. You've got him on your ship. You're headed back to the target. The drop-off location. You're in a strong spot. So you manage to get him patched up, but you have to sedate him. There's no way you can get him fit to talk. He is going to be out for the entire journey and probably during the handoff as well.
Some bitch.
So mechanically what happened is you lost your opportunity to question him before handing him over.
At this point, Tyrion does not give a shit. He is just chilling out in his quarters.
But so somebody marked down that you have a list of 3 artifact sites.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that I have people like Mystic Goods suppliers and stuff like that, like friends, and we have contacts that we might be able to, I don't know, that would be either valuable information to, or they might be able to help us somehow.
Okay. Cool. So we can discuss if you guys want to do something with that during the free play after our downtime activities. So I assume you proceed to the location provided by the Seekers. It's a small warehouse with a landing pad that's been converted into sort of a workshop with a room for bunks and just a multi-purpose clandestine workspace. They're operating on the down low. They don't want to draw any attention, and that's where they're working out of for right now. So they gave you that location. You bring in Giles, and he's on a stretcher because he's out right now. But Emmett will provide any medical notes necessary for his continuing care. They have a medic on site for them as well to take care of him. You communicated that in advance that he was going to need some medical attention, at least in the short term. So he's taken away, and let's see.
How long does it? So they're taking him, and he's going to be like a resource or an asset or an ally to them. How long before he recovers? Before we could talk to him about Anna?
So it's not immediately clear.
Okay.
But Layla meets you. She was your contact. She meets you and says, "Good work. Sorry he's in such poor shape, but doesn't look like any of that was your fault. Just the tender mercies of the Legion."
Yes, quite.
Your agreed upon price was 8 credits, and with additional 4 credits for handing over Anna. So if you would please bring her out as well, I have the money ready for transfer.
Very well.
So you guys hand over Anna?
All yours.
So you hand over Anna, and she thanks you sincerely. And she says, so we have much work to do beyond getting Mr. Mortimer. Mortimer. I said Mortimer. Wow.
Oh, I thought
Mortimer.
no, you're good.
Jesus.
You're good. I thought you were correcting yourself. That's why. Yeah.
No.
It's late. It's Friday.
And so she gets that set up. Jesus Christ. So yes, she says we need to get him healthy. We need to give him time and equipment necessary to examine Anna, and we will then be good to go from there. We are fairly certain that this will result in some future employment opportunities for you and your crew. So we will be happy to reach out when the time comes.
We'd also we'd also like to speak to Mortimer once he is once he's conscious and after he examines Anna to see what we've encountered.
I would truly, I would like to apologize to him for our doctor's behavior.
Indeed. I feel that the slight parting of information is quite well worth the risk that we have taken on your behalf.
We'll be happy to share our information when we're ready to act. But in the meantime, we are going to be very busy. So I hope you would understand that we can't be disturbed until we're ready. She's very polite about it, but yeah, that's the impression that you get. Is they got shit to do, and it doesn't involve you.
So, if we have 12 credits, we split them evenly. I gained 3 on top of the 2 that I had, so one of them has to go in the stash.
Liam gets his 2 back
Well, yeah,
or
Liam and I.
They get their 1 back first, so it'll be 10 to split.
12, right?
What?
Or 10. You're
12
right.
in
10.
total, but after the initial investment is paid off, that's down to 10.
Okay.
So it can just be like 2 each and then 2 to the ship. Does that work?
That sounds good.
Okay. I'll mark the 2
Nice.
on the ship if y'all want to mark it on your sheets.
So
And-
everybody should have 4 then.
Well, I spent the 1, so that puts me at 3, but were you paying me back 1?
No,
No,
everyone's paying you back.
You're good. You're good. You're back up to 4.
Yeah, you were getting paid from the payoff. So the only person who would be above 4 is Emmett, who has 5. So let me see.
I dumped 2 in my stash too.
Yeah, you will. You can't have more than 4 liquid assets on you at any one time. So anything in excess of that has to go into your stash.
So
Which
you have 2 in the pocket and then 2 in the stash.
That's what I did.
yeah, your stash represents your long-term investments, your retirement fund, your non-liquid assets, and it also contributes to your overall standard of living. Like every time you fill one of those rows, your personal standard of living goes up. Right now, you're all very well slumming it.
Shit poor. Yeah, this my bank is in the Cayman system, so we're gonna just continue to bank it there. And
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to pause for a brief moment so I can run to the restroom.
Yes, let's take a 5-minute break for potty and other fluids.
fluids in and fluids out.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I
Yeah,
have
I
to
need some new
tell.
dice or something. I rolled 3 3s and 3 2s tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty unlucky.
Freaking awful.
Dude, double ones.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I have to say.
you only had that once.
I
Yeah, but I did end up rolling a 1 on one of the future rolls that was covered by, like, either a 4 or a 5.
Yeah. I
At
wouldn't
least
mind
yours was
if I had a
consistent.
5s.
Like, yours was consistently average. Mine was just, like, one or the other. There was no covering it,
extremes.
pretty much.
Yeah, when I was doing all my prep, I was almost worried that that job was going to be too fast and we were going to be over in like 3
Huh.
rolls. 'Cause theoretically, it could have been.
But
Theoretically, it could have been. But man, that was all over the place. That was crazy.
Hmm.
very wild.
Yeah. All right. So that's the payoff. We already handled the cash. Upkeep is still going to cost you guys 1. I assume you want to pay out of the ship's cred sheet. Is that correct? You currently have
Affirmative.
2 cred on the ship. Okay. I'll go ahead and mark that off. Ship is at 1 cred.
It's one more than it used to be.
Mm-hmm. So, heat for the job. You got 2 from the boondoggle with the retiree.
Brings us to 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, let's see. Given your exposure in basically walking into a Legion facility and back out again, they have cameras, they have records, they got a good look at everything. That's going to be, I'm going to split the difference and say 3 additional heat.
Okay.
So up to 6 or
8.
5?
You're up to 8,
Mm-hmm.
which resets your heat to 0, and you now have a wanted level in Rin of 1. So they figured out that wasn't a legitimate prison transfer, and so now they're seeking more information on this unknown group. Though they've got their work ahead of them to figure out who you are and some
What can we
details.
call ourselves?
Uh-huh. What? And then how do we lower our wanted? Like spending creds?
So you lower your wanted level with the lay low action, downtime action. That
Okay.
contributes towards a clock, which can bring that down. Wanted level 1 isn't super bad, though. So it's not like, oh, you got to get this back down to 0 right now.
Okay.
So next... Somebody roll a d6 for me.
1.
All right, so
Someone else roll a d6 now.
No, that one didn't count. Cock die.
Yeah.
let me see.
And
Just a
insert Dave
moment.
joke.
So
You can put your cock at my die.
Yeah.
what we just did there was your entanglement roll. So entanglements represent random happenstance and setbacks that can happen just as a result of living this life you live. And a 1 at wanted level 1 is ship trouble.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Not my baby.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that shit's coming out of your pocket bags.
we are going to mark 1 damage on the engines. Some old part that was pushed well past its service life has shit the bed, and now your thrust output is significantly reduced. You can still follow hyperspace lines, you can still jump, but your maneuverability under normal power is negatively affected.
And then what does it cost to repair that? Or can we do like a...
So
like
that
a...
repairing the ship is a downtime action, and I can walk you guys through that if you want to do that. Basically, it's somebody takes the time to get it fixed and spends 1 cred and their downtime action to clear the damage.
Do we always get 2 downtime actions?
If you are not at war with a faction, you get 2 downtime actions. That's correct.
And I have an additional one to either acquire assets or lay low.
Yep. You can always buy additional downtime actions at the cost of 1 cred per additional action.
Interesting.
Yep. So, what do you guys want to do with your downtime? Tyrion.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So,
So you did have a long-term clock you were working on, and
I'm trying to find where I wrote that down. Yeah, I was meeting with people associated with House Malekith.
yep, you're trying to build a contact there. Is that correct?
Yes, I would like to burn a downtime action to increase that clock.
Okay. So let's. So your action here is most likely consort unless you have another approach you want to use.
Consort's where I want to go.
You just want to rub elbows, ingratiate yourself, make some friends. Is that
Damn
is that
straight,
correct?
baby.
Okay, yep.
So I roll 2d6 for that.
All right, here we go. God damn!
Nice.
This is not gonna happen ever again. I'm just letting everybody know that.
Yeah.
Soak it in while it happens.
Do you get another 6?
Yes! I shit you not.
All right.
Okay, Matt, what you need to do is
Yeah, which
go
app
on
are
the
you
App
using?
Store and download Fight Club 5.
Ah,
It's a nice little D&D app. You can have like different NPCs that you store on here, and down at the bottom there's a little book. You click that shit, and then there's going to be a little dice, and
that's more like a-
it's a nice little thing. So do that, because apparently it's working out really well for me, minus the double ones.
All right. This was an 8 clock. You already had 3 marks, and a critical gives you 5. So
Wow.
you you are making friends, connections. You get invited to a party, and while you're there, Governor Malclaith himself shows up, and you have the opportunity to be introduced, and you even connect a little bit over drinks. What do you guys talk about?
Oh, basically how the hegemony is not really treating us noble types very fairly at this point in time. It's a really tough time for those of us of noble blood, because the hegemon himself doesn't understand fully. But from what I can see, the area that he's been in has taken a turn for the better, so that speaks very highly of his leadership skills and nobility.
So
Basically,
he's
I am buttering him the fuck up.
yeah, he's flattered and he enjoys your conversation. And he says he hopes to see you again and wishes you well, and then he continues to go socialize with other folks. So he is not a personal contact here,
Of course.
but you have, let's say, just say you've been introduced to the governor. If that's something you want to work on further in future downtimes, I would want to know what you specifically wish to accomplish, because the guy, he's too big and powerful. He isn't a personal contact, but knowing him can be an advantage at times, and you can use that knowledge to make certain things happen if you're creative about it and you convince him. Or you can work on maybe building a friendship to try and get something more out of it.
Okay.
So, just thoughts.
So my question here is that the original clock was to build a contact within the house, and do I gain a contact from this if I just end it here, or do I sacrifice the opportunity to gain that contact by starting another clock to try and be more buddy-buddy with him?
I would say that's your choice. Which do you want to do?
That is a really tough call. Having a contact in the governor's house sounds pretty nice early on, but if I can manage to swing the governor himself as a contact later on, that would be superiorly more better. That was so grammatically troublesome. We're just gonna walk past that sentence.
Yeah, we're ignoring that word crime.
What had happened?
Can you tell I'm not an English major? I will take suggestions for this.
So he could put you, like, if you want to get a contact out of it, say, "Oh, I've got this problem. I'd love to know if you knew anybody who could help me out." He could point you to, say, Jerem, the captain of his personal guards, who knows people and stuff. There's also Shim, who is one of the head judges in the the legal system that reports to Governor Malclaith.
Go after the governor. Yeah.
Try and make him a personal friend.
Yes.
The governor?
Absolutely. Yeah. Governor.
So, like, if you want to do that one, that is, I'm going to say that's like a 12 clock. Like, that's going to take a lot of work and time, because you can't just show up at his house and say, "Hey, I brought a 6-pack. You want to watch the game?" It's
What's
you
up?
gotta like
Oh, shit,
you gotta stalk his ass. Make sure you show up at the same parties.
Is that what normies do to become friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do it with the rich and powerful. You stalk they ass.
Okay, so story-wise, I'll say that I kind of... I kind of be like, hey, we friends now, to like a very low-ranking noble that is also like associated with the house. They'll know like the parties and such, so I can attend those. Obviously not used for like a legitimate contact or anything.
Yeah, so that would be your angle if you take another downtime action like this. Okay.
I will do that.
All right. Emmett, what are you doing?
First things first, I need to clear some stress.
Okay. So tell me about what Emmett clearing stress looks like. What's this?
He's in the
This
kitchen.
Eating
so he's
mouthfuls
cooking
of curry.
What special thing is he doing this time that's really getting those creative juices flowing?
He is big into seafood, but he's never really done a lot with. Let's not go with seafood. Seafood's a little basic. Let's say he's getting into the Greek food, like Mediterranean style food. He's done a lot of basic stuff before, but he's never really branched out and used a lot of like the local produce and local products. And he's really spent a lot of the money he saved lately, starting to get like imported stuff delivered to him.
Ooh, special stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
thinking about ordering like cheap, like in our day, ordering like cheese from Italy and having it shipped, like that kind of stuff. Like,
Okay.
much more expensive stuff. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work out well for him, because there are occasions where, just like in his doctoring, it doesn't go as well as he had hoped, and ends up wasting stuff. So he's in the kitchen trying to whip up another speciality
Okay.
that he can then indulge in.
So your lowest resistance number is 1, so you'd roll 1 die here.
Okay. Back to the text channel here and see if there's any luck here. Jesus Christ. 2.
Download that fucking app.
All right. You so clear 2 stress.
Can you do the 2 of the same downtime actions?
Yes, you can. Just
What?
remember, if you roll higher than your current stress, you will overindulge, and there's a negative consequence.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'll think
your
about
experiments are filling, but they didn't really feed the soul the way you were looking for.
More
So.
money wasted.
You had a good time, but it didn't. It wasn't what you set out to do.
Yeah.
All right, Pax, how are you spending your downtime?
First is going to fix the ship.
Okay. So there's no roll with this. You're spending 1 cred to make it happen. And I don't... Would anybody object to him spending the 1 cred that the ship currently has assigned to it?
Nope.
All right.
That makes
Thank
sense.
you, my people. Thank you, my people.
All right, so I will delete that cred and delete that damage from yon ship. All right, that was an unexciting entanglement. Take 1 damage on the ship somewhere. Oh well. Lyndon, what are you doing with your downtime?
I was thinking about either taking off heat or repairing the ship too.
Okay.
I wanted to ask about those the relics.
Yep. What about
Like, what do they? What does obtaining Ur relics do? Like, are they like magical items of Scum and Villainy, or
essentially,
are they?
yes.
Okay.
An Ur relic can do anything from like completely useless lights and sounds to blocking bullets, making you invisible. Like the ones that are useful though, those are genuine treasures, and they cost a small fortune to get your hands on, through buying it.
So the Ur relics that that Giles knew about, that Giles told um Emmett's douchebag about. Do you know those three Ur relics that
Yep.
um were they like ready to be claimed somewhere, or were those behind like lock and key, or do we not really know?
You don't know yet. If you
Okay,
wanted to know, you could start a long-term project to research those sites.
that's what I'll do then.
Okay. So you're doing a long-term project,
I'm gonna write that down. So
research
I
relic sites.
okay. Yep. And then how many counts is that?
So, how are you going about doing this? So you have these sets of coordinates.
Yep.
What's your immediate action here? And
I wonder about communing with the or attuning with the way and trying to like um get like an image or a vision or something like that of where these locations are. Would that be something that's doable?
hmm.
I know it's not like talking to people or like working references
So
or
what I'd say is, yes, you can make this roll, but the effect is going to be limited, because basically you look these raw coordinates up, and they're all in extremely remote locations. One is on the mined out husk of a planet that's in the Rin system that I can't remember, and the other two
okay.
are out system. They're
Okay.
around different stars.
Okay.
Um,
Um hmm. Okay. So would you like me to roll then or
so if that's how you want to proceed, then yes, just success is going to be limited by your method here. Like if you wanted to, like there are a lot of
if
options
I
for how
wanted
you
to
could.
do if I wanted to do other things that would likely advance the clock more and be more successful in.
Yes,
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah, it's
Um
like I know attune is a skill you're very strong in, so you're more likely to succeed, but success is going to be less effective.
mhm,
Whereas if you did something like study,
mhm.
like go through records of previous expeditions, surveys of the area,
Yeah.
that'd be like a study role. That would be more effective.
Mhm. That does make sense. I can go with that then.
And really, the what I want to get at is you can use any action on any test, just so long as you can explain to me how doing this
Why?
thing
Right.
accomplishes your objective, and then I will give you the position and effect. Um,
Okay.
and if something's completely outlandish, your position's going to be desperate, and your effect is going to be 0, and you
Mhm.
have to engage the mechanics to change that, like
Gotcha.
pushing yourself to increase the effect, getting help, changing your approach, and creating a vulnerability first, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think or studying it makes sense. So,
Okay.
like studying the like star charts and like things like that.
Okay.
So, and then oh shit, sorry. I'm just gonna go in here. I don't have an app, so I'll just
Yeah, that's
roll
fine.
here.
I think that thing only hates Matt.
Nah, 5.
Yeah, that's not hating you. All right, so this is gonna be in, let's say, a 6 o'clock, just so that you can get enough information to make your next move. Like
Okay.
this would probably be like a series of a couple of projects joined together, that where once you learn a certain amount of information, then you'll be able to narrow it down to I want to proceed in this way. But getting enough information to make a make more informed decision. This will be a 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And a 5 or 6 here gets you 2 ticks on that clock.
Okay. Do you want me to keep track of that, or are you keeping track of that?
I'm keeping track of that, but if you want to keep track of that as well, that's great.
Okay. I just didn't want to like lose sight of it. Like, oh, what were we on with all the accounts that we have going?
Yep. All right, Liam, you're up again. Or Tyrion. I switch back and forth. I have no consistency. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So I believe my second downtime activity was being spent being more buddy-buddy with the governor.
Okay, so you wanna start your next project.
I really have nothing really else to do.
Okay.
Well, hi. So let's bring up that them 2d6. I can smell a 1 in my future, however.
So this is what you were talking about before, where you were.
Yeah, basically,
you were gonna...
like I'm just asking like one of the low-ranking nobles, and it's like, hey, that party was fun. When's the next one?
Okay. So you're trying to fill up your social calendar.
Pretty much.
Okay. This sounds like consort, or are you doing a different skill?
Consort.
Okay.
I see no reason why I would try and bully the noble or try and lie to them.
Yep.
This is just fancy people being fancy.
And just as a reminder, this is a 12 clock. This is a very long-term project.
I've got that shit down here so I can keep track too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to click D6 first. Okay, so first one's a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a 2.
Okay.
There
So
Gross.
you rub some elbows, you talk around, and there are a few parties you get invited to. You were a little disappointed you didn't get invited to the Cotillion at the Warren Planetary Country Club, or whatever. I don't have a good name for something like that.
How uncultured of you, Nathaniel.
Yeah. Deal with it. And don't call me Nathaniel.
Basically,
no.
I'm just spending my time being there, being present, but not actively being like, Mr. Governor, hey, it's me.
Yep. Yeah. So you're kind of using the same approach as before, but trying to make sure you show up at the right parties.
Yeah.
Okay. Emmett, what's your next downtime action?
Is there any progress on the clock?
2. Sorry. Yeah, 4 or 5 is a 2.
I'm debating clearing more stress because, what are the chances I'm going to roll higher than a 4? Seriously.
This time, probably like 100%.
You have enacted Murphy's Law by stating that.
I think I'll save Murphy's Law for another one. I don't know. I think I may train.
Okay.
Because I may do some training. His last outing, he didn't feel super great about his doctoring. So I think he's going to spend a little time just kind of going back to some of the basics. And trying to give himself a bit more confidence going into the next mission.
Okay. What kind of training are you doing? You already did some prowess training, right? Are you doing more of that, or? I believe.
I've done prowess, yeah. I did that last time.
Okay. If you wanted to do it again, that's 2, whereas the others only give you 1 each, which is So insight, prowess, or resolve.
I guess I'll go prowess.
Okay. So go ahead and mark 2 experience under prowess. All right, Pax, what are you doing?
So is under the debt category, getting juiced, it says this is an acquired asset action. Can I do that?
What's this?
So getting juice, gaining cred beyond what's in your hold requires finding a lender. This is an acquire asset action.
Yes, so you can choose to take on debt in order to get credits immediately. Just bear in mind that paying off debt is, because of interest, is 2 to 1. So you need to spend 2 credits to clear 1 debt.
Okay. I want to.
So-
Yeah, I'll do getting juiced.
Okay. So, let's see. Where in the manual are you seeing that, just so I can reference it?
That is page 192. Not the
Okay,
PDF number, the actual
Perfect, thank you.
page.
All right, so you'll roll 1d6, and the result will tell you how much cred you can borrow. You don't have to borrow that much, but you can borrow up to that amount.
So how do you get the crit?
By having a higher crew tier on the ship, and that's like a system that you upgrade, basically.
Gotcha. I got a 6.
Holy shit. Okay, so you can borrow up to 6 cred.
He's gonna take 6 credits.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so mark that you have 6 debt.
Debt another place, or is that just go into my cash?
Yeah, just put it on. Yeah, so you can put those creds into your little wallet there. You can put them straight into your stash, however you want to do that.
Okay.
And I'm looking. Oh, you're doing it on paper. I'm looking at your character sheet online, of course.
Dated.
Yeah. So just note that you are in debt for 6.
Yeah,
So who'd you go to get this debt? Did you go to the Counters Guild and like get something very official done, or I don't know if you'd pass their background checks for
I don't
a
think
loan
I'd
like that.
do that. I'm gonna hit up my friend Triv, the mechanic. Her boss knows me, so I went to him.
All right. So he introduces you to a loan shark he's used in the past.
Yeah.
And they ask some getting to know you questions. They're not entirely convinced, but Triv's boss actually ends up putting in the good word for you. You're not entirely sure why he's so enthusiastic, but he puts in the good word for you. And they say they'll remember that. So you're in debt to some Warren loan sharks for 6.
Okay.
Kriv will remember this.
Yes. She will also remember it if he starts missing payments, and they come asking her where he is. Okay. So, Lyndon, what is your final downtime action?
I'm going to try to get rid of some of the heat that we have.
Okay, so you're going to do lay low?
Mm-hmm.
So the only heat did that reset? Can we go back after that clock finishes?
Yeah, so it resets to 0 and then starts building up again. If it gets up to 8 again, your wanted level will go up by another level.
Gotcha.
Think of it like this. Wanted level 1 is you're wanted for questioning regarding an incident. Level 2 is there's a warrant out for your arrest. Level 3 is there is a task force assigned to bring you down. And there's specific instructions for level 4, which is the 51st Legion or Governor Malclaith personally order a dreadnought to pursue you and attempt to destroy you. So don't get up to wanted level 4.
So that's like Grand Theft Auto smashing 5 cop cars, sort of.
Yeah,
I would
that's
advise against level 4. I'm trying to be friends with him.
yeah, that would put a real damper on the relationship.
You can wait till you're friends first.
So let's see.
Honestly, I think at that point, he don't give a shit if you're friends.
So you will. So
It burns 2. Oh yeah.
How are you going about reducing your heat?
I had not yet considered that. That's a good question.
Because that'll determine what action you roll to get your result.
I guess consort or sway. I can try to talk to. So we're wanted for things. I'll try to consort with 51st, some like 51st Legion contacts, and talk about how is it Lieutenant Alder? Was that his name?
Albin.
Albin.
Mm-hmm.
How he had a private vendetta against Dr. Emmett, and he like created rumors about us, and that aroused suspicion about our presence in the Rin system.
Okay. I'm not going to worry so much about how you would
like consort or sway.
Yeah, like let's say you put in the time to figure out a way to get this information out there. So it's sort of telling people that there's a personal vendetta there, and yeah, I think that's solid.
Fake news. Fake news.
Yeah. So if you're rubbing elbows and telling people that's more of a consort. If you're
Don't they know that the prisoner transfer was in fact a non-sanctioned transfer?
So don't get hung up on which crime are we wanted for. It's sort of an arbitrary collection of police be angry at you. One? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's only going to clear one section of the wanted level clock, and it's an 8 clock. So you've made a little progress here, but it sounds like what you were saying sort of fell on deaf ears, even if it was true.
Okay. And that's my second. What you call it? My second leisure action. Leisure time, Larry.
Downtime.
Right. And so the last one is Liam. You have an additional action for acquire assets or lay low.
Okay, so what we want to do here, fellas? Do we want more shit for the next mission, or do we want to stop being in trouble?
We're not in much trouble.
Okay, then we're going to acquire some assets.
Are you sitting on that one for the next mission, or
Damn scary,
you
son.
Okay.
That shit came in handy. I don't want to just be like, hey, I want to get random object number 1. Mission starts. You need specific object number 3. Fuck.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our downtime. So now we enter the free play section, which is where you guys can go looking for a job. So you have, while you've been doing your own business, you've gotten a couple calls. One is from Layla, saying that they're ready to talk, and they have need of your services. And the other is, or actually, I shouldn't say the other as in, Liam, did you want to say something?
Do we do
You raising your hand?
Yes. Do we do experience after this?
Yes. Yeah. My hope is that we'll be able to get to a good stopping point here, because a tire rigged. A tire rigged.
Understood.
So, like, if you want, we can leave the free play section for the next session. Actually, now that I'm looking at the clock and realizing it's almost 10:30.
It might be bad because then you figure out the job and just go right to it.
Yep.
That's fair.
So, yeah, let's put a pin in this, and we'll do the job acquisition next time. So, experience triggers. Let's look at the ship first. Execute a successful extraction operation or capture of a bounty. That's a big ol' yes. Contended with a challenge above your current station. That's also a yes. You waltzed into a 51st Legion facility.
Big old
Bolstered
balls
your-
on that one.
Hmm?
I said big old balls on that one.
Yeah. Bolstered your crew's reputation or developed a new one. What do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, we
You got wanted.
well, we firmed up our reputation with Layla.
Yeah, and I would say that was pretty cunning going in there and just being like, we fucking own this place. We understand that you own this place, but we fucking own it now.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
The only conflict that I could think of is Doc's qualms about handing over the Urbot.
Also, like, well, I mean, intercoms between Pax and Emmett. You know, he wouldn't let me take the one cred.
And there is that.
Mark on your sheet, by the way.
I
Yep.
marked on my sheet.
Okay, good. Making sure.
Hey, that's for all the drugs you've stolen.
Mhm.
Fair payment.
Okay. Yes. So that actually fills up the crew XP tracker. So your homework assignment is to look over possible upgrades and think about what you might want to upgrade.
Ship upgrades.
Yep,
Neato
ship upgrades.
burrito, Batman.
Yep. So, ba, 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 ba. That's the ship. So, Lyndon.
Yep.
Address the
Oh.
tough challenge with wisdom or the way.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I had attempted to use the way to, like, nudge them and things like that, but
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did that a
um,
couple of times.
Then
but I
Jedi
don't know
mind
if
tricks really came in handy.
Yeah, so go ahead and mark one experience for
Okay.
that. And remember, you can put that in your playbook experience track, or you can put it in any of the skills.
and so with skills,
Or not in the skills themselves, the three headings: insight, prowess, or resolve.
okay.
Attributes, I believe they're called.
For the next job, remember to do items next time.
Hmm?
We didn't bring items with us.
Oh yeah, so you can check off your load and change it every job, or you can just kind of leave it the same all the time, or just have like a default loadout. And if you know something about a job coming up, you maybe change it. Like if you guys want to do an assault, maybe putting on some armor is a good idea.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's
Lyndon,
the only. Yeah. Oh,
expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I don't know. Like I have an academic background and I studied to find the relics, but I don't know if that's a reach. But and I don't know if you were thinking of other things.
Yeah, I'd say no in this particular case. That would have been an opportunity to express that background. Like, next time something like that comes up, think about, oh, how can I say, well, I learned these research techniques at the university, and
Oh, okay.
I've taken surveying courses, or
Gotcha.
I've got some sort of training from that. Yeah, think
Gotcha.
about how you can draw on your heritage and background when you're in a situation like that.
Okay.
No, you've got one more. Sorry, Lyndon.
Yeah, and I don't think I got that one either, though. So.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Struggled with issues from your vice or trauma during the session, and I don't think that's a no. Okay. Pax. You address the tough challenge with speed or flair.
I think so.
Okay. Expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Wait, did you say no for that first one?
I would say yes. Didn't you stab the guy in the neck?
Oh, yeah.
That was
You
some flair.
really bust in there, and we're just like, go to sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess, that works.
Take an experience point for that.
Okay.
Expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I mean, my background came up when I went to trim for something, but I don't know if that counts.
I'd say no,
Yeah.
because it really didn't factor in to your approach, your method, anything like that.
Right.
If it was, oh, do you remember that time when we were coming up in the world and you needed money, you went somewhere, do you know anybody like that? Like that would have been...
$40 is $40.
Yeah, basically. You struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
That makes sense. I didn't struggle.
Okay. All right. Tyrion. Address the tough challenge with deception or influence.
I would say yes to that one.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
I rolled a desperate action, right?
Yes. Did you mark experience in? I think it was prowess because that was like a scrap.
Yeah, I think you already did that because
Yeah.
Nate mentioned it to you as soon as it happened.
Yeah. You guys didn't have any other desperate rolls, I believe. Most of
Everything
mission
was
just
risky.
risky. Yeah. Tyrion, you expressed your drives, beliefs, heritage, or background.
Would that be counted during downtime, like rubbing elbows with the governor, just being like, hello?
Yeah, so
Alright.
that's like an expression of your drive to connect with, to build a set of connections with the local nobility. Yeah,
Okay,
right. Mark
so
an experience for that.
that'd be one for that one. Would you say that addressing a tough challenge with deception or influence would be one or two for that one?
Yeah, that would be two because you did that on multiple occasions.
Yeah, I lied my ass off repeatedly. And for the last one, I didn't struggle with my vice very much.
Shady
Okay.
son of a bitch.
Damn straight.
Emmett, you addressed the tough challenge with insight or compassion.
Probably a stretch, and it probably wouldn't count. But when he saw Albin, he actually legitimately tried to apologize again, and reminded
Yeah,
him
you did do that.
he did try to call him and apologize that he felt bad about it.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's a stretch or not, but
No, I think that's entirely reasonable.
Okay.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
would background be basically going over the background between him and Albin?
Yeah,
Like
I'd say
how
so.
they became
You
nemesis?
fleshed out a lot of stuff there out of your history. So yeah, take an experience point for that as well.
Okay.
Struggled with issues from your vice or trauma during the session? I think not.
Nope.
That was fun, fellas. Let's do it again.